Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. It's September 3rd, 9:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Futures are all pretty much unchanged going into the open. The big headline this morning, job reports disappoint. Only 235,000 positions added versus expectations of 720,000. That's a huge expectation. Dang, they missed the ball on that. Major. It's man, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. And I think we're in that weird time right now where in history we're transitioning into easier living. The days of working a hard, honest day's work and hard labor are coming to an end. Everybody's starting to rely on technology and just the internet. And all of this technology is making life easier. So remember, guys, adapt or get left behind. Technology and the internet is taking over. So just as a reminder to everyone out there, stock market will be closed on Monday. Monday is going to be Labor Day, September 6th. So enjoy the holiday, the extra day off. We get a bit of a long weekend. Take advantage of it. Study, brush up on your watch list. Just as a reminder to you guys. So, ANY was popping off yesterday, having a nice run from 650 up to 12 bucks. That's pretty insane. We've been seeing a lot of good moves recently, and this is an example right here, guys. Don't swing these stocks. They're garbage companies. They're either just starting up or on their way out the door. This thing's from 950 is gapping down to 650. Imagine waking up to that. That would suck. Especially if you were holding a few thousand shares. So ANY, there's going to be a lot of bag holders on that. It may try to bounce, but it's going to be bogged down a lot. You're going to run into a lot of selling. What else we got popping off today? APOP, APOP. I seen this stock pop up on my scanners a few times this last few days. This is the importance of being very aware of what you see popping up throughout the day, because it could be giving you a sign that maybe somebody knows something before the company puts news out. And you'll see a stock start to pop up a little bit and warm up. And then a couple days later, it comes out with news and it's gapping up a few dollars a share. So most definitely APOP is going to be in play. If this breaks up over 10, that's going to be the big area everybody's going to be looking for this to break out. But the thing that worries me with APOP, and I know you guys in the Discord already know about this. Looking at this daily chart, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, we got 1, 2, look at that one. 3, 4, 5. We got 6 huge red juicy candles. So this stock shows a history of having huge gap ups, maybe a quick pop with that long upper wick, and then at the end of the day it gives back a lot, majority of its gains pretty much. History repeats itself, so everybody's looking back on the daily chart and they're all seeing the same thing. But this is a good thing to keep in the back of your pocket as well. Always have an open mind, guys. Just don't look at this and immediately shut it down. Keep in mind, like, chances are this is probably going to sell off. But the way I want to look at this too, short sellers are looking at this and they're saying, oh, bet this is in the bag. This thing, every time it gaps up, it fails. It's an easy short. That's immediately what they're thinking. And if things get out of hand, this thing could go parabolic, supernova, and then shorts are freaking out. And then they got to cover up position. And you guys know what happens. That's what happens. I posted a GIF in the Discord. So eyes will be on a pop out of the open. We put the watch list out in the Discord. What else we got today, guys? We got TKAT may bounce a little bit. I could see it bouncing up to at least maybe 1250. This thing got hammered after it ran up to $15 yesterday, all the way down to 11. We could see a nice little maybe $1, $1.50 bounce on it. We can keep eyes on it for that. SQBG. Now look at this one. This thing just had a recent gap down. It consolidated. Now it's been having resistance right at $9. You could see it clear as day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Clear top. Right at 9. Right there. So it's been consolidating. We still don't know which way this wants to go. It could go one of two directions. Either to back down, or it can finally break up through that 9 and push up to that $10. Keep this on watch. It may try to fill that gap in the chart. Remember, it's an error, but I think it's only got room to run up to $10. I really don't see it going much higher than that. So $10 is going to be the target for SQBG. Anything beyond that would be a bonus. What else we got? NURO. Recent sell-off from 1830s all the way down here to 1150s. It's been consolidating now for 2-3 days. So from 1150, if this breaks up over 12, 1250, and 13, this could get going. We're going to have to take it in 50-cent intervals, because every 50 cent we have levels to get through. We do. So let's plot these out real quick. We got $12 to get through. We got $12.50 to get through. Then 13. Then right here at 13.50. Man, there's multiple levels to this. Then 14. Yeah, every 50 cent is going to be natural resistance for NURO. And I'm seeing it at these levels because first 12 right here, You could see it was resistance there. Then it was falling through the next level right here at 1250. This thing spiked up, resistance at natural 13 bucks. It topped out right there. It fell through right there, 1350s. It was topping out right here. So every 50 cent on NURO is going to be resistance. So we got a lot of levels to get through with NURO. It doesn't mean it's not tradable though. If it slowly starts to build up and break through these levels, look for it to hold. IMPL. Yeah, this bad boy is going to be wild. 19 million float. I'll throw this up on the charts over here, but see how it sets up. You never know what could happen with these things. Just like what happened with FCUV. FCUV, you guys look back on this bad boy a couple of days ago. I was watching this on Thursday, was it? No, Wednesday. And this thing, just by watching the tape, you could tell that there was a lot of demand on the tape. But they flushed it down $3 and then they squeezed it up. And then they wedged it out again. And then they dumped it after hours. And then squeezed it up. So there was a few games played with FCUV. This stock was not easy to trade. And then even yesterday, they would pop it, pull it back, pop it, pull it back, pop it, pull it back. This thing could still even come back, but it's got to break back up over 20, break over 25, and it's got to run all the way up to 30 and then break 30 for people to get more attention back on it. We also got SPRT still on watch. This bad boy has been pulling back now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight days. It's been pulling back from its big day here when it ran up to 60. Now it's pulled back all the way back down to 20. So it's pulled back $40. Look at that 10-minute. Just a straight decay. Remember back day one when I was warning you guys about this stock, it has no reason to be up at 60, 50, 40, $30 a share. And when these stocks get so far gone from reality, you got to be careful because they have no business being up that high when it was just what? A $5 stock? So with SPRT, this thing could easily get momentum. It's on everybody's watch list. It's fresh on their mind still because it just ran 5 days ago. It's been pulling back. Shorts have been piling in on this. This thing gets momentum, guys. We could easily see this run back up to 35 at least. So from 22 to 35, that's about a $13 upside potential on SPRT. So keep this one on the back burner. FT. I don't see anything happening with this one. This is just a garbage stock. BBIG. This one is pretty much, it's pulling back. It's pulling back nicely, and it's pulling back tight. And there we go, guys. There it is. 10,000 subscribers. Boom. I've been anticipating and waiting for that 10K for so long. Thank you, guys. Woo! So, BBIG, this thing could pull back. See how tightly it's pulling back? We could see this snap back up to 859. That big level for BBIG is going to be 10 bucks. That's the big trigger level. That's where we could see more volume come back into this. And that's what? $2.50 up from currently right now. So all we can do is monitor BBIG, see how this thing wants to set up, and just keep tabs on it. Because you never know. It could be right there. All right. Market's about to open up here in like 7 minutes. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. That's right. Next stop is 100K. Well, I was going to stream live for you guys on YouTube, but somebody wants to play around and be immature and not get back down below 10K. So later, you guys on YouTube. No, I'm only joking. I'm not that dude. I'm not going to get pissed off and take the football home because nobody wants to pick me to be on their team. So it's important to keep an eye on the SPY this morning, all right, guys? Because looking at this right now, the SPY is dropping off and going red. And look at our new highs versus new lows. We got 89% of stocks making new lows on the day, and only 39%, 35% right now are making new highs. So that's why I like to have this up here, right there. Let this market open up. And we'll see what happens and pops up for us. Just to give you guys a heads up on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, you guys are watching this a live stream, but there is a delay. Now remind, whenever I call out something, when you see it, there's going to be like a 30-second delay. Here in the Discord, these guys, they're getting it all real time. So if I call out something, do not go off chasing after it because you're going to be 30 seconds behind. Going out of the open. Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about Sava. Sava finally got a good rip on it. This thing just, after that big gap down, this thing just consolidated and consolidated. It just would not run. But now it finally popped up to 64. This could probably, yeah, about $60 here. You're going to want to see this area right here hold up. Yeah, I would not want to see it fall back down below 58, 57. Sava could be a good one today. We can keep our eyes on this one. You guys about ready to rock and roll? Market's about to open up here in 2 minutes. I think SPRT gets a good pop. Yeah, right, Robert. I can't be smoking marijuana or weed, dude. I'd be freaking out, man. I can't. I just can't. IMPL, KBSF, hitting the scanners. SPRT, 2350, 2250, and 23. It has to break over. If it breaks up over that, this thing can get up and going. Breaks over 23, it'll run to 24, 25. It's still going. You also have KBSF heating up too. Nice little $1 rip on SPRT. $1 million in volume. You guys got to be careful trading stocks out of the open, because they can be up 1 second and then they can, look at that, flush down like that. Damn lawnmower men. KBSF. If that gets up and going, I'm going to say like $6. This thing could take off. Keep an eye on APOP. This thing's getting a nice pullback. This could easily momentum and rip right back up to 10. SPRT is also, it's still holding up well at that 22. SPRT. If SPRT can hold up and build up off that 22, break over 23, next stop 24, 25. This could be a good one. ANY, I wouldn't go into this one. Don't even pay attention to this, because there's so many bag holders stuck in on this, swinging this overnight. How much did ANY do yesterday in volume? 250 million in volume yesterday. So this, every single time it pops, these bag holders are going to be selling. SQBG, if this rips up over 9, SQBG. So good. Give it time. It's not ready yet. OMG, that thing is... Look at that. This thing went from 886 all the way down to 840. That's wicked. Don't be market ordering in on that stock. AMC, good rip on it. $43 all the way up to $44. Man, it's a strong move. What's IMPL gonna do? That rips over 32. It's gonna pop up to 34. 34 to 37. 40. FT getting a nice pop for you. I don't trust that name though. BBIG still getting hammered down. I'd give up on it for right now. Just set alerts. Set an alert at $8, $8.50. There goes AMC. So far, everything across the board has been failing. Sit on your hands, guys. TKAT It's still in a confirmed downtrend, but if it can break up over 1150, that's when it can get a nice little pop on it. Okay, TKAT, I see you. I see you. If you can pull back down to 11 and build up off that 11, break up through that 1150, get a nice pop to 1250. I'd like to see you pull right back down. Right back down to here. BT's building up. MMAT float 226 million. It's been uptrending from $3. Well, it's breaking away from that consolidation, gap and go. Yeah, 6 would really need to hold. I mean, it's got room to go. This gets a break over $7, it's gone. This is just a pump and dump, guys. There's no news on this. But there's nothing going on right now. So if this can pop back up and volume attack this, everybody could gravitate to this name. Like I said, a clean break over 7. This thing's really gonna take off. But right now it's a lot of red on that tape. Some chat room out there with the following quickly pump this bad boy up. If it drops down below 6, it's pretty much done for. Robert, if I pull FLGC up and it's just trickling up, I'm gonna kick your butt. You motherfucker. There ain't nothing going on with FLGC, brah. This IMPL, guys, it's been pulling back really nice. I think IMPL gets a nice snap on it. Look at that. I could see this snapping right back up to like 32, 34. Man, come on, Street Smart Edge. Yeah, see, this fell through that 6. It's not ready yet. Maybe it'll come back around later on. CANY. It. You can keep eyes on it. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of bag holders on this name. IMPL breaks over that 30. It'll get a quick snap on it. It has not broke that trend line yet. See, pretty much everything across the board. Nothing really is going on. So just be patient and wait. Like I said, so far IMPL has the best look. I could see this going on a quick snap. You just got to be fast because it could start perking up to that 30. And if it blows over 30, it's going to snap to 32. Watch. Watch how fast they do this. Here's that 30 test. Blows over 30. There's 30.15. 30.20. So far, it's struggling. It's trying, though. Looks like it's, trying to watch the tape here. Might just take a moment for it to get going, but just be careful, guys. This market's not looking good. $20 million float. Yeah, this thing's gonna stall. You could just tell when it broke over that $30, it just, you want to see that powerful boom, and it didn't have that. Nah, you gotta be noticeable of this stuff, guys. When it broke over that 30, it popped up to 30.20. That's not strong. I want to see a kaboom. And you got to notice that. And you got to quickly adapt and get out. Because then you'd be holding on now down $2 a share. That's why you got to see, adapt, react, make the adjustments. Something can look good one moment. You get in on it, and then you notice weakness, and you got to get out. You got to. AMC has been the performer this morning so far. That APOP really did stall out, huh? Remember when we all looked up at that daily chart and we seen all those big red candles? Wow, what a little grinder, TKAT. So far, AMC, like I said, has been the only performer. And TKAT. Oh, yeah. SPRT. SPRT could start breaking over 23. That's the trigger level. So far, so good. SPRT. First green day. SPRT. 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 Good move, SPRT. Good move. From 2050 all the way up to 24. That's a nice $3.50 run. Damn, what a pump and dump. I'm seeing this across the board, guys. You've noticed a lot of stuff had quick pops on it, and then they just get drilled down super hard. Even IMPL. Remember? We were looking at it here for that break over 30. Told you guys, you gotta adapt and react to what you're seeing. When it pushed over that 30, it pushed up a lousy, what, 20 pennies? That's not strong. I want to see explosions. This could still have a nice snap and bounce on it, but not yet. It's still in a confirmed downtrend. APOP, not a surprise. That's getting driven down. If you look up at that daily chart, like what, 8 big red candles on big gap up days? Yeah, DATS, that had a good snap on it. You guys all remember DATS was in play like what, a week ago? Yeah, BT, nice ramp. SPRT still going. Breaks over 24. Next stop 25. This can pull back to 22. RNXT, I can see about 950. ANY, it's trying to gear up. This can pop to 750. I'll draw my line right there. This thing's been getting a nice pullback. I'm telling you guys, you're gonna look away, and this thing's gonna surge, and that's the type of surge that I like to see. Rips up from 28 to 30, 32. Those are powerful moves. Not just perking up 20 pennies and then slamming down. Yeah, AMC, I'd look for you to hold up here at 44. Build up off that, push up higher. pretty lame out here today, though. Not much has been going on. I'd be sitting on your hands, guys. The top performer, BTBT, AMC, SPRT. Besides that, everything else has been popping and failing. SPRT breaks over that 24, it's gone. Look at that. Nice $1 push. More than $1. This thing went from $22.60 all the way up to $24.10. That's a good $1.50 push right there. SPRT heating up. People are pulling this up now. As it keeps pushing up, it's hitting everybody's high of day scanner. And they're pulling it up and they're like, oh yeah, this thing ran 5 days ago. It's finally having its first green day. Traded UVXY for 50 cents a share. Good job with that, man. Trading those ETFs and inverse ETFs is a handy tool to have in your back pocket. Someone just messaged me and says, is that a pattern on IMPL? I'm just working on recognizing patterns. AMC looked like Head and Shoulders to me on your screen. Also, I kind of see Head and Shoulders on KAT. It's trading, it's a lot more to it than just recognizing chart patterns. IMPL, all I was doing with this was slapping a trend line on it. That's all I was doing. You see it finally broke over that trend line, but just because you guys know patterns and you have little strategies that you look out for, they're not gonna work 100% of the time. They're not. Usually, what I like to look for when stocks pull back with the trend line, if it breaks that trend line, they get good snaps on them. Like, let's look at AMC, for example. Perfect example. You see how it pulls back right here? You slap a trend line on that, and what's it do? It gets over that trend line and pushes up. Going back to IMPL, it pushed over that trend line. We were watching it real time, and what did we notice? We noticed weakness as it was pushing over that psychological $30. That's a whole dollar level. $30. So it's more to it than just looking at patterns and playing a pattern recognition. You know, you gotta pay attention to little details. We noticed it stalled out. It was looking weak. We said, hey, if you were in on this, I'd be considering bailing out. It's weak. When it pushes over that $30, see, watch. Now it's getting momentum right here. Watch how fast this could skip up if power comes into it. When I see breakouts, I want to see breakouts go boom, showing that strength, power moves. If they're just popping up like a little firecracker fizzling out, that's not showing strength, and you got to recognize that and react to what you're seeing. See, even now, as it's trying to push up right here, it's weak. I would say something like it's trying, but it's bogged down. There's a lot of selling pressure holding it back. Something like SQBG. What's a good example on this one? There not really is one. But this thing's trying to push up, but it's, like I said, it's bogged down. Like KBSF, you could draw a steep trend line on that. You see how it crossed over that trend line? It's sloppy, but you get the idea. There's so many little things you got to pay attention to, and you got to take notice of it and act on it. And versus, oh man, I hope that this goes, or I hope this comes back and it pushes. I don't want to rely on hope. I want to rely on what I'm seeing and react and adjust to what I'm seeing. And that's where you get paid. Remember, the more things you notice and pay attention to, that's where you have the advantage. That's why I like to keep my charts super clean. If I can keep my charts super clean, I'm not getting distracted by all these different moving averages, MACD, Fibonacci, Ichimoku clouds, all convergences, RSI. That's just more stuff I have to pay attention to. So I'd much rather keep my charts clean like this, maybe throw a couple moving averages on so I can get a sense and an idea of a trend. You know, that's what I use these moving averages for. let's see here. Just for example. So you go to somebody's channel and their charts look like this. Look like that. Like, that's instantly hurting me, hurting my brain and my eyes. How the hell are you supposed to concentrate and look at the big picture with all of these distractions on your chart? You know? You have so many things to pay attention to. This, all what's going on here. You can't even see what patterns are setting up with the candlesticks. You got it all covered up with this art. So that's why a lot of people, it's natural for people to overcomplicate things. We've looked at this before. People overcomplicate things because it's too easy. SQBG still in play. Man, this thing can rip. This breaks up over 9. Remember what we said, $10 is going to be that target. This is a nano float stock. So you guys see what I'm saying with the MACD when it bounces off of that divergence, and then the RSI up here is at a 0.75 and the Ichimoku cloud down is in the red? That's when you guys want to know the perfect time to buy. Okay, and then when it pushes up to the green Ichimoku cloud in that top blue line you see, as I have displayed on my chart, that's where you want to sell. Okay? Nah, take all this bullcrap off. This is just nonsense. Keep it simple, guys. I'm telling you. The whole stock market revolves around supply and demand, and noticing the imbalance between supply and demand. If there's demand for something, prices go higher. Supply, if there's a low, that's why a lot of traders rely on low float stocks. That's low supply. So you don't need more volume to make prices go up on that stock. If you have something like, let's look at Ford, for example. You see how it's like a barcode stock? Like that? Well, look up at the float. What's the float on Ford? F. Oh my goodness, come on. The float on Ford right here is 4 billion. 4 billion is the float on Ford. So that's an extreme amount of supply that's out there for Ford. So if you have more supply of something, you're going to need a lot of volume for prices to increase on this specific name. And that's why it's barcoding out like that, because there's an extreme amount of supply out there and there's no demand for the stock. Makes sense? So you're good. So if you wanted prices to go higher on Ford, you would need to tell more and more and more and more people, or get more and more and more people to buy this stock for prices to increase. That's why these trading gurus are out here. They don't focus on higher float stocks. because you need more volume for prices to increase. Versus SPRT, now look at the float on this bad boy. The float is only 10 million. So that's a relatively somewhat low float. 9-10 million float, that's not bad. And then volume on the day is at 8.8 million. So volume has already rotated and blown through the supply once. I call it float rotation. They come in, trade, the more volume that comes in, and the more it rotates through that float. That's why you see price swings like this, running from $21 up to $24. That's a $3 move right there. That's the basics, supply and demand. And you just need to focus on that. And if you could pick up on noticing if there's an imbalance between the supply and demand, watching that tape, what are you noticing? Are you noticing more buying versus selling? Or are you noticing more selling versus buying? And if you could pick up on that, follow volume, price action, that's all you really need to pay attention to. Keep it simple. Just like SQBG. You guys remember this morning when it ran up like this to 885, and in a blink of an eye from 885 it dropped to 821. So in a blink of an eye it drops like 70 cents. Well, let's look at the float on SQBG. What's the float? Wow, look at that. The float on SQBG is only 1.1 million. So 1 million float on SQBG, that's an extremely low supply of a stock. The float is the available amount of shares for the public to trade. The shares outstanding is the total amount of shares the company has, period. That it's including shares that insiders own, that are locked up. The float is the available amount of shares for the public to trade. Remember that. Volume's only at 750K, so it hasn't even crossed over 1 million yet. And that's why you get big price fluctuations like that, because it doesn't take much for a stock with a nano float like that to get up and going. And that's why these gurus love to pay attention to low float stocks. So if you're like, and I'm not throwing them out there to diss on them, so if you're like Warrior Trading, right? Warrior Trading has thousands and millions of people following him, right? So if he's streaming live on YouTube and he's got, let's say, 1,000 people watching him, right? And then he's streaming on Facebook also. He's got 500 people watching him on there. So he's got 1,500 people watching him live. He's got a 15-30 second delay on his feed, right? So he's watching SQBG and he says, all right, guys, I think it's going to break $8 or $9. I'm going to buy. 30-second delay goes by. Those 1,500 people hear him. They mark it in. Let's say all of them buy 1,000 shares, right? What is that? 1.5 million shares? They've just rotated through that float so effortlessly, and you get a big rip in the stock. And that's that lightning bolt hitting the stock, that demand coming in hitting the stock. And that's what we call pump and dump. So SQBG here, focus more on the bigger time frame. This is setting up a nice little wedge on this thing. This thing could later on, guys, I'm telling you, rip over that 9 and surge up to 10, 1050. It's a low float stock. You don't need much volume to get it up and going. It's got a good chance of doing it. You know, people have it on their watch list too, because it was a recent spiker here recently. We also got SPRT. This thing's having its first green day. What did we say? Look at my line I drew out at 23 there. It's holding that 23 as support. It's starting to build up. The next level is going to be 25, 26. So SPRT, it's building up for that big 25 break, and this could start running. You got to look at it in levels. Number one stock gapping up this morning. SPRT has been selling off all day. It's been selling off, but now it's starting to go sideways at that 725. This could start lifting, and I could see this bouncing just over probably $8. So from here up, what is that? About 50, 60 cent reward. And if it breaks that low right here, $7, it could slam down to. So around 25 cent, 30 cent you'd be risking to make upwards reward of, what is that, 60 cent? Yeah, good move on ANY. It's moving right on up to my line, up at 750, where we said it could push up to, because it was having a nice little gear up. I think it was like right here. Yeah, BTCM, that was a good pretty much $1.50 spike. Related to Bitcoin. Someone said KBSF, great earnings this morning, 1.9 million float. Yeah, this is go right back down to where it was at yesterday, $4. Just because companies put out good earnings doesn't necessarily mean they have to go up in price. KBSF, this is just a garbage stock. You could tell nobody's interested in it. Every day it hardly has any volume. It did come out with good news, but not enough to attract people. going on 10:30 right now. Oh yeah. Once again, remember guys, stock market is closed on Monday, Labor Day weekend. So we're going to have an extra day off. So that's something to keep in mind today. We got Monday, the stock market's closed. People are going to want to close out positions. They're going to want to go into this long weekend because they're getting an extra day off. So every moment that goes by, we're going to lose more and more volume. All the big money's like, heck yeah, 3-day weekend. I'm going out to my lake house with the family. Or we're going to get on my private jet and go to Hawaii. Fridays are the hardest day to trade, guys. Let's see what happens this IMPL. I could see it touching 30. From 28 right here. So from here, you'd be risking like 50 cent to make potential $2 to the upside at 30. So as the day goes on and you're looking at these charts, you're always adjusting and determining what's my current risk versus reward right now. So right now, something like SPRT, you see it's in a downtrend, right? So you'd wait for it to break that trend and you'd be telling yourself, okay, it's right here at $23. This could fall down to $22.50. There is no, I'm going to put my stop loss at $22.75. No, dude, it's going to blow right through that down to $22.50. So accept the 50 cent stop. So you're going to be risking 50 cent. And this is probably going to pop up. And you're probably going to freak out and sell in the first pop you see. So $23.50. So you're risking 50 cent to make 50 cent. That's a 50-50 play. Agreed? There's so many little things that you guys got to take notice of in what you're doing as you're a trader. And like I just said, people get in on positions and the first pop that they see and it pushes them into profit, they freak out and they take it. And then they watch the stock continue to go and go and go and go. And then they tell themselves, man, if I would have continued to hold, this thing ran up another $1. I could have made an extra $1.50. But they freak out and they sell as soon as they see they're in the green because they don't want to let their plan play out. And see what I'm saying? This just dipped down. Look at this, slammed to $22.50 and just below it at $22.25. So always overcompensate what your risk could be even at times. You should also know SPRT is not a little grinding type stock. This stock likes to rip up and down. So be mindful of how volatile a stock is. There's so many tiny little things that you got to put together on the fly as a trader. You got to be quick on your feet. SPRT average true range is $7.18. BTCM, this could rip up to 1450. Yeah, I don't being a pilot, man, I couldn't do it, man. That's some crazy stuff. I just watched that new thing on National Geographic on 9/11. Man, that stuff was so sad and such a downer to watch. It was good, but man, that's so wrong and messed up. Good morning, Calcine Viper. Hopefully you're having a good day, homie. Good profitable day. Lock in those profits and go into this nice 3-day weekend. I've flown Delta a couple times in my experience, and what I've noticed, Delta, they're super cheap. Their planes are super old. Like I got on Delta and it literally looked like they had the TVs on the back of the seats. They were TVs from like the 90s. And it's like we were watching a VHS tape. Now I'm like, really? It's like 2017 or 16, and this looks like the 90s. Day trading, stock market, best job in the world, 100%. You got to have that discipline though, and be satisfied with your profits. Don't get overly greedy. You could show up, make a couple $100 from the comfort of your own home on your own personal computer. Where else are you going to do that in the world? This is pretty much everything I've had up the whole day. Nothing's been really popping off and going on. AMC starting to fade back out. TKAT had just a real quick pop on it. BT's been working its way up to that 14. Sava has been getting driven down. ATER, now this one, it's looking like it's trying to gear up. You could see a quick snap up on this one. ATER. Your target would be $6.75, $7. We still got SQBG building up. SPRT fell off. BBIG, this is still very tightly pulling back. I feel like this one's just going to have a random surge on it. BTCM, this is building up off that VWAP, but be cautious. This could surge up to 1450, but it could also slam down super hard. Other than that, nothing else really going on. Oh yeah, I heard you guys talking about SPCE this morning. Yeah, that's getting driven down. Dang, that's a downfall. Talk about an empire crumbling. $28.50 all the way down to $24.50. Looks like I could see SPCE maybe having one good bounce, but if you look up at that daily chart, you got a death cross forming. Your death cross, where your 50-day moving average crosses down and over, or down under your 200-day moving average. They call that a death cross. And that is an indicator that they will use too with the S&P 500. If ever you see a death cross, run. Now, what we like to look out for are golden crosses, where that blue 50-day moving average comes up and over that red 200-day moving average. That's a golden cross. And when you see those forming on a daily chart, a weekly chart, or a monthly chart, some kind of like this right here. You see how that 13 EMA is crossing down below that 50-day? Well, if that orange line was a 200-day moving average, we would be calling this the death cross. Now, if you had this blue line, let's say that was the 50-day moving average, and this orange line was a 200-day moving average, we would be calling this a golden cross. The short-term moving average is crossing over the long-term moving average. Those could lead to nice squeezes. And remember, the bigger the time frame you spot it on, the bigger the move could be. You see here on the monthly, the S&P 500 in a solid uptrend. This thing's been up and 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 up into infinity and beyond, as Buzz Lightyear would say. Right here is a good example. Right there. That 50-day crosses up over that 200-day. S&P 500. Look at that push up. There was another one right there. Or no, that was the one we just called. Here's one. Here's another good example. Right here. See how the 50-day crosses down below that 200-day? That's your death cross. And look at the results of what happened. Right there. So when you see a death cross, run. Pretty cool, huh? Looks like PETV's getting pumped up again. Taking a break today, and the country shredded it this week like many others. Lots going on in TTCF. From what I hear, it's in my long term, so not much in the mood for the madness. Haha. TTCF? I've never heard of that. Tattooed Chef? Dang, from 16 all the way up to 26. That's at a major resistance level on the daily chart at 25. I would sell it, and then I'd look for a pullback back down to 20, and that's where I would probably reload the boat. Because this has been in a solid uptrend. Look at that. It's starting to break down. So this is going to have a deep fall on it, back down to like 20. FUTU back in the game, upgrade to 65. Fucking assholes with the leaf blower. Wow, that's extremely loud. Hey, I'm just trying to do my job, man. But it's still annoying, dude. I don't know how you can do with that all day. Oh yeah, there's an army of leaf blowers coming. I can hear them. They're on a convoy and a mission. Let's get this done, boys, and go into our 3-day weekend. It's Friday. Yeah, we live for Fridays. That's the wrong mindset to have. Gotta love the ones that say, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. BT broke that 14 bucks. Yeah, this BT, I remember way back in the day, man. This thing was oh my goodness, a supernova parabolic runner. Let me see here. Yeah, look at BT in the past. $24 ran to $33. This was back in January 4th. Right here, it ran from 850 to 11. I don't see a date on this one. BT had a supernova parabolic run way back in the day. Even BPTH. I remember this one the most. Who remembers BPTH? In one day, this thing went from like $18 to $75. It ran up $50, $60 a share. That's insane. See some epic runners. YGMZ 450 up to $20. That's a 400% runner. Look at that, YGMZ. And then the days after. And how many times? And this is the past, guys. And how many times, like we've talked about, day one, a stock runs, a couple days later, pulls back, and then its first green day. Look at that. It just goes to show, if you've missed the action day one, there's still opportunity on it. You just have to patiently wait. And look, 3 days later, this thing ran from what? About $9 all the way up to what is that? 14 bucks. So that's a $5 per share run right there. All within the first 2 hours of the day. I mean, one day, guys, 1,000 shares. What is that? A $9,000 investment, and it runs up $5. That's $5 with 1,000 shares. That's what is it? That's $5,000. I just had a brain fart. A $5,000 a day. So you've just made 60% of your $9 or 9,000 investment. And even on day 5, it had a nice little pop on it. What is that? From 1050 snapped up to 12, I think. So $1.50. That's why we pay attention to these big runners days after. I preach to you guys all the time. Take pictures of these charts. I mean, look at WNW. This thing went from $55 and it ran to $160 just after 10. So, right there. So, in 40 minutes, this thing ran up $100 per share. Imagine holding on to 1,000 shares of that. That'd be $100,000 in a half hour. Insane. Insane. That's bonkers. Real quickly, I just want to pull it up real quick. IMPL, look at that volume spike. See, look at that from 25.50 to 28. $2.50. It just ripped up. It's all about timing, guys. Sitting on your hands, waiting. What, market opened at 9:30? It's 11 a.m. So it took an hour and a half for this stock to finally get that snap. And look at how quickly it snapped and ripped up. Now it's got that power that we were waiting for. And you just have to wait for it. BT. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta go do something real quick. So what have we talked about before? And I'll bring it up again. I'd say if you're new here, you want to get to that I know you're super excited and you feel like you want to trade everything or you got to trade everything. What I would practice doing is just sitting here for maybe a month. Just sit here for a month and not even place a trade and take note of how many times you get excited and would compulsively jump in on a trade. How many times were you right versus wrong? That's pretty good practice. To practice your discipline, your patience. Because a lot of this game is just sitting and waiting. Just sitting tight. That's what we do. Dang it, I just had my mic muted. So what I was saying was one thing that we've talked about before, we could bring it up again real quickly. If you're new in this game, just sit and practice waiting and take note. Get out a notepad and check off and see how many times would you have got excited and compulsively jumped in on a trade, and how many times would you have been right versus wrong, and how much would have lost. A lot of this game is just sitting. We do a lot of sitting and waiting in this game. And you're going to have to sit and watch a lot of setups come, set up, and go. I get it. You're new. You want to trade every setup that you see, and you want to trade every single day. But over trading is a killer. It is. The more you trade, you're going to drain out your account. So how much did ANY? Let's check back on that real quick. How much did this run up? Just up over 750 to 765. So a little bit just crossed my line here, all the way up to high of day. Still a good 50-cent move right there, though. This thing's done. There's just so many bag holders, like we've said. Just, man, a lot of people got screwed over on this. A lot. Everybody who bought in on the dip and here, or the person who, imagine being that person that bought way up here. If you bought way up there, you should just quit. Just quit now. That's embarrassing. Yeah, I could see IMPL touching $30 if it breaks up over that, but this can fall back down to 26 now. I doubt this gets a bounce on it, really. It just got driven down so hard. Dava. What a drill down. This thing was up at 60 bucks. Now it just got driven down to 53. Why do you think that is? My guess, everybody who bought in on it right here, everybody who loaded up on the dip, well, they sold up here. But people who got caught up right there, people who all bought in down here, soon as it gets that gap up, everybody who bought in back here, they're all at break even. So they're going to wash their hands and move on. Right? The cycle just keeps taking over and taking over. Or repeating is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, IMPL, this thing's been grinding up real nicely. It could get that quick snap up. It's risky though. It's just getting a little like dead cat bounce is what what it's doing. I don't see it really doing anything. $25.50 up to 29. So that's a $3.50 little run right here. That's a pretty good little run. what I like to do, and this helps with like FOMO or chasing after something or buying in, I always like to try to look back and be like, all right, from bottom to top, how much did this stock just move up? Pretty much nonstop. And it does help with your mind. Take SPRT for example. From here it went from 2050 all the way up to 2425 nonstop. That's the way I look at that. So I'd be like, well, all right, this just ran up $4 a share, pretty much nonstop. It's going to want some type of pullback, which from 24.25 to 23, it got a nice $1 pullback here. It just stalled out. You could see that right there. It stalled out. BTBT. Here, that's the euphoric run right there. How many times have we seen this, guys? A stock just trend up like that, and then just get that euphoric run, and then it's game over. Same thing applies with ANY from yesterday. Just a grinder, pretty much. Perks up, and then just gets that euphoric run. Noticing these moves like this comes with time. You know, it took me a long time to realize and understand grinds turn to euphoric pops. Patterns like that. Over time, you guys yourself will pick up on patterns that you yourself have seen over and over again. Hey, Rodfather, thanks for subscribing, my dude. What's that? Paper trade is good for beginners. I'm not a fan of paper trading. I'm really not. With commissions being free now, you don't have to pay to trade. You could still put in $100 into an account and practice with trading only one share. You know, you're still attaching the emotions to that real money. And we got a few people in the Discord that trade with 1, 2, 5, 10 shares. And it really does help. It really does. And a lot of people, I think, overlook that. You're still attaching your emotions to trading because it's your hard-earned money that you're still putting up for risk. If you're paper trading, you could tell yourself a million times, I'm gonna take this seriously. This is real money. And then they'll start with the unrealistic $500,000 trading account, and they'll be trading 10,000 shares, and you can't take that seriously. And no matter what, no matter how many times you tell yourself you're going to take it seriously, in the back of your head, you know it's not real. So, and then you'll notice, you'll like, yeah, I'm killing it. I'm making good money, making good scalps. And then as soon as you switch over to real money, you start witnessing all of these emotions that you didn't experience when paper trading, and you just crumble, fall apart, and you're like, damn, I just wasted all that time paper trading for a year. And now I'm experiencing all these emotions and fuzzy, warm feelings inside. Man, that was crazy. I went all in on SPRT when it was at $60 and just blew up my account. Buying in way up there at the tippy top. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Gail. Welcome to the Wolf Pack. And there it is once again, 10,000 subscribers. We did it, guys. 3.5 years it took for this channel to get 10,000 subscribers. 3.5 years, 600 videos later. That's a grind. Man, that was a long time. Compared to someone coming in and putting in a couple of months and hitting 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, IMPL, this is a long shot. I don't think it does anything. And then back to FT. Man, this thing's been lingering around at that $3 all day. I still think this is a garbage stock, though. I don't think it's going to do anything. Remember we were just talking about ATER? That just had a nice pop on it. See, I tell you guys, when you look at charts, try to zoom out and look at the picture. And when we did that this morning, we were like, we even said it looked like they're trying to gear this up. And when I say gear up, they're pulling it back and it's getting real tight. And you could just tell they're holding it back. And when they let it go, that's when it can, explode. Just like that. $4.5 for 10K subs of life. Tough. 3.5 years. Not 4.5. That's a long time, man. A long time. 3.5 years putting out on average maybe 2-3 videos a week. Sitting down, editing them. Every video I've probably put in maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, I would say, of my life into editing every one of my videos. That's a lot of time. That's why it's very discouraging when you first start up a channel, because it's just people don't subscribe or watch your content, but you overlook, you got to build up that library for when people do come in, they have a big, huge backlog or, you know, videos that they can go through and watch and pick from. DPRO, nice ramp on it. Dragonfly Incorporated. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of this type of action today, guys. A lot of ramp and pops, failed follow through, and then they all fade off back down to where they came from. So September effect is starting to take place. It is Friday though. It is Friday. I'll give it that. It's Friday. We got a holiday on Monday. We're going into a 3-day weekend. Yeah, people are slowly locking in profits and calling it a week. Yep, it's just about to be going on 11:30. I'm pretty much just about done. Which of your favorite traders you learn the most? Um, I've learned a lot from a lot of people. Like you all know, I started out learning from Timothy Sykes. And I've said before, Timothy Sykes is good, but he's not good when it comes to technical analysis. And this was before stocks to trade and stocks to trade blew up. To me now, when I see stocks to trade, it's a joke. Those guys are all, I call them fuckboys. They all just look like they're babies. Like they just popped up out of nowhere and they're big. And Tim Sykes has built this huge empire and they're just riding what he's built. So Tim Sykes is paying them guys well. I mean, they got their own office and they promote his stocks to trade platform. If you go back and watch Tim Sykes videos from 10, 15 years ago, you hear him in the early stages talking about stocks to trade, and he's building this platform and he's dumping all of this money into it. And he was really hyping it up and building it up. He was. Now it's paying off for him. He's built the empire. Now he's just kicking back and reaping all the rewards. So all of his older videos is what I would go and watch. From him, you'll learn a lot about fundamentals. Learning to spot and pick up on spammy or spam and scam companies and pump and dumps. When it comes to technical analysis, you won't learn anything. Next up, My Investment Club. And this, again, was before they were called My Investment Club. Back before it was just Bao and Alex, he traded at SMB Capital. So I was just following Bao and Alex at SMB Capital. So then when Bao and Alex, they came out and then they created MIC, and it's been around since. So I've been in the game for a moment, and I've watched all of these guys when they were on their own before they even started their huge communities and empires. Madaz, I've learned from Madaz, and this was before he even did his own chat room and promoted his stuff. He was just putting out videos on YouTube like me. Then he blew up and started his own chat room. Clay Trader, he's always done his own little thing. I'm not much of a fan of his. I feel like he's he's more of like uptight, and I don't know, I just get weird vibes off Clay Trader. I do. I'm not a fan of that guy you just posted. No. No, I'm not a fan of that guy. Live Traders. He just rubs me the wrong way. Because I see a lot of people come in here and they're like, the 3-bar play. Yeah. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that. It's just easy stuff like that they shove in your head and make you seem like trading's easy. That's what I don't like about it. Trading is not that easy to where you just look out for a 3-bar setup and trade that. It's a lot to it than that. A lot more to it than that. You know, if you were to look at this, for example, look what it did here. There's your 1 bar. There's your 2 bar. What happened to the 3rd bar? No, but to be precise, volume's got to be trending down. And then when that 3rd bar starts pushing, it's got to be hitting new volume high. It's just an easy way to sucker people in because people want the easy strategies. You got to look back and say to yourself, guys, when you first started, that mindset that you had, what type of mindset did you have? You had that mindset of, all right, there's a secret that these traders are keeping to themselves. There's a secret indicator that these traders are using, and there's a secret trading strategy that these traders are using to make money consistently. And I have to find that out. When you're new, that's the way you think. So you're looking everywhere for that golden ticket to make money when that's not the case. We all know now that we've put some time into this. This is a mental game, and it all revolves around the type of character you are as a person. So you dictate your trading career, all based on recognizing the type of person you are. And then once you recognize who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, then from there, you can start developing strategies based around your personality. Agreed? Or this, when you guys learn about the stock market, you're going to get into some deep, deep stuff, and it's going to change your life. It's going to change your perspective, the way you look at life, the way you feel about life. It's going to open your eyes to the world. I'm telling you guys, I'm 1,000% serious. And if you don't have an open mind, if you're closed minded and you're not accepting to change, possibilities, potential, anything can happen, you will not survive in this game. You won't. So long story short, like that's why I don't like that live traders guy, because he suckers people in because he gives them what they want to sucker them in. It's a lot more to it than just looking for 3-bar plays. That's why I don't like that guy. I like traders that actually pretty much are blunt with you, like what I try to be with you guys. If you guys followed me for some time, you know I tell it like it is, whether you like it or not. I'm not here to hurt your guys' feelings. I'm here to help you guys understand and see the picture. No hard feelings whenever I talk or say stuff. I'm very blunt. I've always been like that. Even in real life, I have to watch what I say, because sometimes I can say things that are hurtful and I don't fully understand that or recognize it while I'm talking. So I have to think before I talk sometimes. And I get people commenting too, why do you talk like a robot? It's like, dude, I have to think what I say sometimes before I talk, because if I was just to go off and talk, I would say stuff. I just say what comes out of my head. Who else was there? Um, Investors Live. Nate from Investors Live. He was a good I learned a lot from him. One guy that really put everything together for me was Dekmar Trades. See, I was with Tim Sykes first, and I did everything with Tim Sykes. And you guys in the Discord, you guys heard this story 100 times. But with Tim Sykes, I was a part of his penny stocking silver chat room. And I've just noticed when I was in his chat room, I'm like, man, where the hell's Tim? He's nowhere to be found in here. I'm with all of his old students that are moderating the chat room. Like, man, I forget some of their names. Man, there was one big fat guy with glasses, and he did the SEC filings DVD with Tim Sykes. He was moderating the chat room. And then one of his old first millionaire students was moderating the chat room. And I just noticed, like, there's a lot of noobs in here just calling out random ass tickers. And I'm like, why do I want to be a part of a chat room filled with noobs like myself that don't even know what the hell they're calling out or doing? So that ended real quickly. And his chat room was like $150 a month for the penny stocking silver. So I did that, and I watched a lot of Tim Sykes videos for 2 years straight. Nothing but Tim Sykes. Michael Good. Yeah, that's his name. Michael Good. So I had all the fundamentals down. And what I liked about Tim Sykes is, and that's where I got my style of doing these live streams and talking to you guys. I just love the way Tim Sykes would talk. He would just ram it down your throat and just motivate you to get pumped up and excited to study. And that's what I loved about him. He would keep me going and wanting more and more. Just eating up his content and all of that. And just as a bonus to you guys and you guys here on YouTube, when you guys sign up for the Ultimate Pass, I tell you guys to go through all of the channels in here. You may be surprised what's in here. I don't even tell you guys about this. But if you go down here, right into the, where is it? Trading DVDs in the media. All right here. I have 14 trading DVDs in here that I myself bought when I was new. So there's over $5,000-$6,000 of trading DVDs in here. All of Tim Sykes, Tim Gertani's Trading Tickers, Trader Investor Summit, Tim Tactics, Tim Raw, Tim Fundamentals, Tim Decators, Tim Fundamentals, Spikeability, How to Read SEC Filings, Penny Stocking, How to Make Millions, Answer Stock, Tandem Trader from Nate, Investors Underground. He's selling this DVD for $1,000. So if you sign up for the Ultimate Pass, you guys get access to all of these DVDs. And there's over 14 of them in here. And every DVD is around 20 hours long. So I give you guys all the tools that you need. And on top of that, you guys also have the masterclass that I myself have been slowly putting out. We're on 9 classes right now. And every class has been around an hour and a half, 2 hours. So there's another 20 hours of content that you could be absorbing and learning from. So people out there that bash on this, saying if you're going to be a part of a community, it's being a part of a team, and not telling you go Google it, your answers, or I already made a video on that. All the tools are right here for you guys. You just got to put that work in. It's all right there in front of you. So after absorbing all of Tim Sykes' content, I moved on to Deckmar Trades. And the cool thing with Deckmar, this was before he was at Tradecaster. Deckmar Trades had his own website, deckmartrades.com, and it was $100 a month. And every day from 9 to 11, Monday through Friday, he would live stream and trade live. And then he'd take a break at 11, and then he'd come back at 2:30 for power hour, from 2:30 to 4. And he would have his charts set up just like I do right here. And he would trade live. And with Deckmar, he really put the pieces together for me. He did. He connected everything that I learned from Tim Sykes. Because I just felt like all the puzzle pieces were just scattered out everywhere. I didn't fully see how a trader is and supposed to trade while the market's open. You get where I'm going with this? So with Deckmar, and he would talk it through like what I do with you guys. Like if a stock came up to resistance, he would be like, guys, it's not going to go. A stock's just not going to run straight up to resistance and break it. You want to see it pull back down and then build up for that breakout. So then after I was with Deckmar for I think like a year and a half. And then after Deckmar, I started making my YouTube channel. And then I started putting my own content out. And then I went into my investment club when they first started. I signed up with them and I was with them for their first couple months. But they were so brand new, they didn't have any content out. So they were day by day putting content out, starting to establish themselves. So I was with them for like maybe 4 months in a part of their chat room. And then I left them and then I went to Investors Live, Nate, and I signed up with his chat room for like 2 months. And then after that, I haven't been a part of a chat room or another community since. Because I said, I'm just going to start my own. And I'm just going to run my own. And the rest is history. I can't even pronounce your name. Plexures says, thank you for keeping this real. I'm pretty new to this, but liking what I'm hearing. Hey man, if you like it, go through my back catalog on YouTube. Like I said, there's over 600 videos on there, packed with great education, man. You're not going to hear people talk about things that I talk about. It's like everybody's scared to reveal the secret when it comes to day trading. When there is no secret, the only secret there is you. You hold all the keys. You do. This is a psychological, mental game. That's all that this is. And that's why I get tired of seeing these gurus out here just preach and talk about trading setups and patterns when it's a lot more technical and deeper than that. You got to consider so many little things: market conditions, yourself, where are you at in your mind, in your life. You got to set yourself up for success. What, that Jared guy from Traders Live, he does come off real strong. I'll give him that. But at the end of the day, he's just shoving the sales pitch down your throat. He's been around for a minute though, I think. Thanks for subscribing, Josh Rugg. Appreciate it. Wow, we're just now approaching noon. You know what could be setting up for a nice little snap on it? Sava. Yeah. So this is how you guys can go about this. It was in this long ass downtrend, right? It just trended down from $59 all the way down to what? 51? So that's an $8 pullback. $8. This just pulled back nonstop. And this is the way you got to look at this. You got to think differently. It finally just broke up out of that trend line. Finally. Broke up out of that trend line. You see how it pulled back and held that trend line? From there, now it's starting to build a base. It's starting to build up and try to reverse. And from this, you can easily set your risk down below the lows right here or down below the lows right there. Sure, this did just fail. These aren't going to be perfect, guys. Nothing is going to work 100%. You can just gauge it, take it in levels. But from this $53, this could have easily ripped up to 54, 54.50, 55, 55.50, just below that VWAP. From 53 to 55, that's a nice $2 move. And 52.50, you'd risk 50 cents. I'd put my risk right down just below 52 at like 51.95. So risking 50 cents to make $2 a share, that's a pretty good risk versus reward, right? So now that you got your risk versus reward figured out, now you got to determine your size. Are you going to do 1,000 shares? Are you comfortable with losing $500 or $600 if this doesn't work out? But if it does work out, you're looking to make $2,000. Or are you only looking to trade 100 shares? Are you looking to lose $50 to $60 to make $200? And that's how you put together a trading plan and putting together your risk. This fell down. Now it's at 51.90. So you would have got stopped out. You had a plan. You stuck with it. You kept your losses as minimal as possible. You move on to the next setup. And that's what we do. That way, when we do have that winner that offers more reward, 3-to-1 or better, right? So this reward on this was $2. Our loss was 50 cents. So I could have took 3-4 straight losing trades. And all I had to do was have one winner. And that one winner would have wiped away 4 of my losses. That's how you do it. Remember, setups, you can see them, learn about them. They're not going to be perfect, guys. Nothing is. Nothing is perfect. I don't care if there's somebody that tells you this strategy is going to work 100% of the time. If you come across somebody that tells you that, run for the hills as quickly as you can. So it's just like SPRT here. You could slap a trend line right on that bad boy. Like that. See how it poked up over that trend line and it's pulled back? And now it's holding that trend line. Now you could start to build off of this. And this is how we do it. So I see $21. That's a good psychological level to work off of. It's currently at $21.25. All right, so I'm looking to risk maybe 25 cents. I can see this pushing up to $21.75, $22. So I'm risking 25 cents to make 50 cents to 75 cents. That's a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 risk versus reward. That's good. I'm risking 25 cents to make 75 cents or $1. That's good. That's a good risk versus reward. I gotta record that. Save replay. We'll see if that works. Streamlabs has got a feature now on here where if you click this button right here, it's supposed to save the previous 2 minutes, so you can timestamp. And if you just covered something pretty good and important, or if something happened, I've always wanted that feature or something like that. Because this stream's been going for 3 hours. You think I want to sit through 3 hours of content to find what I talked about? No. So while those setups are all going on, like I just broke down 2 trading setups for you guys. Now, on top of that, you got to be mindful what you're seeing across the board. What have we been seeing with a lot of stocks? They've been having quick pops and then failed follow through, failed continuation, and fading out. So a lot of stuff has been having a lot of failed follow through. You got to take that into consideration. Makes sense, right? That's perfect, complete sense. But new people don't know to think like that. They think every stock that pops is just gonna run or pop and take off. 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market. Remember that. So if you see one thing happen with one stock, chances are the 3 out of 4, 75% of them are gonna fail as well. That's why I pay attention a lot to this right here. If I see 90% of stocks are hitting new lows on the day and only 10% are making new highs, I'm not going to want to go after breakouts, am I? No. So just for shits and giggles, let's see if SPRT plays out to our plan. It finally broke that trend line. We put our risk down below 21. Our price target is 21.75. We'll sell some there. We could sell half our position, 75% of our position, and then you could leave the last 25% of your position to sell up here at 22. If it dips down below 21, we'll cut it. That's where our stop loss will be. That's how you put together a trading plan. All situations, all scenarios are different. So you got to do this on the fly. And you got to also take into consideration, all right, how volatile is SPRT? That's why in a lot of my streams, like I've talked about with you guys, that's why I go back over these candlesticks and I say, well, look at this thing went from 2287 down to 2216. Here it popped from 2177 up to 2210. I'm getting an idea of how volatile and how the personality of this stock. How much does it like to pop and fall off, right? Hey, Calcine Viper, enjoy the Florida weather, man, and enjoy that bike ride. Be safe. And trust no one while you're on that bike, my man. Now we play the waiting game. That's what this is, guys. We wait. And this is good practice. Like I said, not paper trading. You know, everybody can afford to put $50, $100 into an account and just trade with one share. Because from then, you're attaching the emotions to it. And then if you can prove to yourself that you can successfully and consistently trade with one share, then you could try your hat at 2 shares, maybe 5 shares, and then move up the ladder. 5 shares to 10 shares, 10 shares, 25 shares. But take your time with it. Remember, there's no rush. Stock market's not going anywhere. So, while we sit and wait for this thing to determine what it's going to do, what's the plans for the weekend? Some people might be going camping, hanging out at home. I think I'm just, well, tonight I'm going to the drive-in. I'm going to go see that new movie, Candyman. And besides that, probably just be hanging out at the crib. I still got to go see my mom's new house. She just moved an hour further, so now my mom's 2.5 hours away from me. Hawk Driver's looking at 5 potential houses to buy. 4 single-family houses, 1 multifamily. See, man, there's a lot of houses on the market, Hawk. You'll find what you're looking for. You will. Just gotta be, I know it can be frustrating and irritating. People outbidding you, and it's real petty too, I know. But something will come along. All good things come with time. Offering 20K above asking makes me feel like I'm buying at the top. This is this is a buying, well, this is a seller's market. I'm not going to say buying. I almost did. This is a seller's market for sure. For sure. It's the same way out here. Houses are going for stupid money. Stupid money. Even recently, remember when lumber was all overpriced? Just going to delete that real quickly. We know our levels. Yeah, maybe just one good pop on SPRT. Just one. I wouldn't get overly greedy on it. That previous day's close is at 22. I'm trying to look back. This thing, it just has a history right now of just getting driven down, driven down, driven down. But here's one decent example right here. The only thing it doesn't have is that pullback, really. This thing just broke the trend and just kept going. But there's a little example right there that you can see a setup like this, and then it's set up, but then it just stalls out. There's just nothing you could do about that. That's why you got to try to be pretty selective and picky about what you guys trade out here. If you're seeing failed setups and failed follow through across the board nonstop all day, you got to look at that. That's a sign that, hey, maybe I should be sitting on my hands today. You know, if you're seeing stocks push, pull back, continue to break up higher, push, continue to push, just strength and breakouts across the board, that's where we get our confidence, right? You guys should also always have the SPY up as well. The S&P 500. You could use the SPY, or you could use I mean, there's so many indexes and ETFs related to these. You could look at the Nasdaq. I like looking at the SPY. But this is like your guys' forecast. This is your weather forecast. If you see the SPYs pushing and doing good, that's going to motivate a lot of the other stocks. But there are times, though, guys, and there are exceptions where a stock can influence these indexes. I remember at one point, GameStop and AMC was controlling what the SPY did. And these had more influence than the indexes. Same thing with Tesla. Who remembers when Tesla, before it did that split? Oh my goodness, that thing was wild. That thing ran from 400, was it, up to like 1200, 1500. That was insane. I've never seen anything like that, ever. That was wild. There's also, if you're in on a trade or something like this, if you're just not feeling it or you get that gut feeling, there's no shame in bailing out of a plan. There's no shame. I've done it a few times. There's no shame. Sometimes you just get that, you have that feeling then and there. And then after entering in on it and you're sitting there and you're waiting, you just be like, no, I changed my mind. This thing ain't going to do anything. And it's just sitting here. It's stalling out. You know, you can bail on it. There's no shame in that. Always trade scared, guys. Always trade scared. Because anything can happen. Anything. One moment you can be up and things are looking good. Then stock sinks and crumbles on you. There's also no shame in locking in profits along the way. Remember that. Gotta work all weekend and watch some of your videos. Well, watch, and watch some more. There's over 600 of those videos, my man, so you should have your hands full. And then Mike says, I'm new in here. Love listening to this. Exactly what I need. A constant psychological check. That's what I'm talking about, man. You guys will not hear anybody out there talk about stuff I talk about. Because they guard it like it's a secret. They all know that this isn't just spot a pattern and trade it. It's all, this is a huge mental game we play. That's all that this is a mental game. That's why you should try practicing if you play chess or checkers. That's why I play a lot of baseball. Every night you guys will see me hop on Twitch and I'll play baseball. Because baseball is a mental game. A very mental game, and it's hard to master. It's very, very, very repetitive. And yeah, it can get boring watching baseball, but it keeps your mind sharp. And I like to keep my mind sharp. Yeah, get yourself some blue light glasses and you'd be set. You can get a good pair of blue light glasses for like, I'd say at least 50, maybe, I'd say $30 minimum. A good blue light pair of glasses. You don't have to go crazy with them. Yeah, even $10, that works. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, SPRT. Let's go out with the bang. Come on. I'm telling you guys, I have a much more success rate. And I'm not trying to get cocky or boast myself, but I've had a much more success rate and I've made a shitload of money just trading bounces. Trading bounces, trading reversals. the money is not at chasing high of day breakouts. You're actually going to lose a lot more money chasing high of day breaks. High of day breaks, they have their moments. The best time to trade high of day breakouts, the first 30 to 40 minutes that market opens. That's the most highest success rate you have for trading high of day breakouts. But stocks that pull back like this and bounce like a basketball, I love trading these types of. They're just, to me, they're a lot more stress free. They're not overcrowded. And we see some and get some good pops, don't we, guys? Stocks that we keep on watch days after they make that first big green day, we see some really good pops. I really do feel for new people that come into this. They're in for a big reality check on how complicated this game really is to learn and pick up. But don't let that discourage you. This is going to be one of the hardest things that you've ever attempted, but the reward is so worth it. So worth it. I'm not going to jinx it, but we'll put our shit back up here. So our final target is at 22. Our first target is at 2175. And even as this pushes up, guys, like I've told you, let's say you bought 1,000 shares. Even when it pushes up to that 2150, maybe take 20% of your position off the table. At least lock in something. That way, if this flushes back down and it stops you out, you're at break even, or you made just a couple bucks, you know? Always try to lock in something as a stock pushes up. You're not going to go broke locking in profits. Remember that. Pretty funny when I just traded a multi-resistance break towards high of day, and you are saying don't concentrate on that, and I lose on my trade. It's human nature, Mike. You naturally want to buy at high of day breakouts. And all of these gurus out here, they teach you to buy at high of day breaks. They teach you to set their scanners and your screeners to pick up stocks that are breaking high of day. You're going to see a lot of stocks run up, test high of day, run up, test high of day, run up, test high of day. And you're just going to find yourself buying at a wall every time. SQBG. Now take this for example. Look at how many times this hit high of day. Here, 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 here. So you would, if you're a high of day breakout trader buying at resistance, look at how many times you would have got stuffed. Instead of doing that, why don't you think, hey, maybe I should buy when it dips down here, and then when it comes up to this high, I'll sell to the idiots that are trying to buy that breakout. Ah, yeah, that's what the smart money's doing. They're buying the dips down here and they're selling it to us. That's what they do. And it's just back and forth. Look at it as range. Buy the dip, sell the pop. Buy the dip, sell the pop. Buy the dip, sell the pop. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And just by doing that, from $9, $8, you could put a line on it like that. Sure, it's dropped down to $7.50, $7 even, if you draw a line out. But there were a few moments and opportunities on this to buy at 8, sell at 9. 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 Doing that over and over and over and over. That's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, about 7,000. Just trading the $1 range. So it's all about how you look at the chart. SPRT, it's trying. Currently in VIH at 999. Something's going on there. Crypto play. Let's see where Bitcoin's at. Dang, Bitcoin's up at 50K. It's getting pretty late in the day. It's almost 12:30. We're in prime time lunch hours, guys. I'm about to call it, wrap it up. This SPRT is just taking too long. Thank you guys on YouTube for joining us today. We streamed for almost 4 hours straight on YouTube. So remember, Monday is Memorial Day, or Labor Day, not Memorial Day, Labor Day. So we're going to have a 3-day weekend. Stock market is closed on Monday. Keep that in mind. Don't wake up Monday wanting to trade because it's going to be closed. Have a good long 3-day weekend. Study up. Prepare for the upcoming week next week. Remember, we're still in a relatively fresh new month. So we still need to be observant of market conditions and the cycle that we're in. Watch this SPRT like we planned out. See how this plays out. Be safe out here, guys. Study up, learn. Get on that grind. It's not just going to learn itself, is it? But thanks, guys, again for supporting the channel. We just crossed over 10,000 subscribers. This is a moment I've been anticipating the last 4 months it took me to get up to this. So thank you guys for supporting the channel, subscribing, being a part of this. There's a lot more to come down the road. Real quickly, someone said check out the squeeze on SHLDQ. That's a bankrupt stock. Yeah, I'd be careful with that, man. Anytime you got a stock with the Q at the end, that means they're bankrupt. That's not good. I wouldn't want to be holding the bag once this falls. I think that's what it's about to do. It's about to have a big, huge fall on it. You can see it's getting overextended. It's on its last legs. That's my opinion, though. This thing could keep pushing 75 cents, $1. But take a step back and always look like, man, this thing just ran from 30 cents up to 70 cents nonstop. I appreciate the comment, Mike. Glad to have you aboard and part of the Wolf Pack. If you want to join up the Discord server, you guys, there should be a link down just beneath in the video description or on my YouTube channel in the About section. I have all kinds of links and stuff in there for you guys, so feel free to check all that out. Join up the Discord. You'll be in the Traders Lounge. Start at the start here. Then drop that start here down and go through all of these sub channels. I got a bunch of tutorial videos in here. Testimonials. Go to the welcome. There's a few welcome videos in here and tutorial videos that should get you up on your feet and rolling. Just use common sense. That's all I ask. Just use common sense. I'm not trying to be a prick, but you'd be surprised some of the questions I get and people that come in here, and it's like, and you expect to make money on this game, and you can't figure out that. So I try to lay it out for you guys as simply as I can. Just don't be afraid to click around in the Discord. You're not gonna explode the Discord. All right, you guys, have a good weekend. Be safe out there. Study up. Like I always say, have that patience, have that discipline,